I'll say, welcome to the 2024 BCSA race meeting. It's pretty much an annual event. We've been doing it as long as I can remember. It has different forms through the years. We had some that used to take all day long. I don't even believe I'm going to keep you that long. Most of you are the usual suspects. So I kind of just thought I'd wing it. Let's see. I put up an agenda here. You can tell. All right. First thing I wanted to do was show you the Browns Creek webpage. I'm sure most of you have been there. Now, there's an old one out there that we can't get rid of for some reason. Correct address is Browns Creek Settlement Association. Now, if you Chris put together a really good page here. Got a really good picture of that. But at the top, there's a racing calendar. The racing tab has 2024 sailing instructions on it. It has Portsmouth ratings for all our boats. I think it has the racing rules sailing, so you don't have to buy them. What else is on there?
Our sailing instructions,
Yeah,
all the race committee guide, and then the racing calendar.
yeah, how to put together a races. So everything you really need is at this one-stop shopping area. Let's see, I think I just put the sailing instructions in there.
So the .com.
So this document is there also, in case you need it. In case you're a race committee, there's some directions in there on how to put together a race, how to make set up a starting.
Which is always good to review the day before you do racing.
Yeah,
Just in case it's been a year or two like me, who hasn't done the race committee.
yeah, there's
I
race,
forget.
there's schedules in there too. It's 2 or 3 pages long. We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. We're gonna talk about the events first, I guess. You can look on server here, and in that web page, there's a schedule of events. We have all kind of events in there. We have lots of buoy races. We have lots of regattas, which we ain't had in a while, which I'm really happy about. We have an event going on with Lake Gunnersville called Swap the Tiller.
Yeah, have you guys heard about it yet? Okay, so we're gonna go one day on a Saturday over to Lake Gunnersville, and they're gonna let each one of you captain one of their boat while their crew on their boat. So they'll trim sheets and they'll make sure you don't run into anything. And they're doing a social with it, so we can go meet all the Lake Gunnersville sailors and go get to do theirs. And they're gonna do the same thing and come back here the next or a couple weeks later or a month later, whatever. And they're gonna captain our boats, and we're going to be crews. And then we're gonna do a social. So basically, we're doing a captain swap. Now, if we don't have enough boats, then our extra people, theirs will be crew on our boats, but they're not bringing any boats.
What is that?
So it's on the calendar. I don't know the dates off the top of my head.
April 13th and June 2nd. Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of their ideas. So we decided to roll and thought it'd be fun. You know, hey, it's another day on the water, you know.
You don't need to get going.
Okay. If you notice,
Hey, Don, that one guy's.
things changed this year. Chris, I guess, based upon his experience at other clubs, has brought in a little bit different format. we always raced Saturday at 10. Now we have a lot of Sunday races and Saturday afternoon. We start a little later. So before you show up at 10 o'clock, it would behoove you to look at the schedule.
Yeah, and if you go online and scroll all the way down the bottom of the schedule, there's a calendar link there if you guys use Outlook or any kind of calendar, and it'll download all the races into your. Now, just remember, nothing's set in stone on this, so we can always change it if, halfway through we don't like whatever we're doing, so. But I think it'll be good.
Like it's if the wind will cooperate, everything will be fine.
Yeah. That's gonna be like it was today, instead of being in here, we were out there.
Beautiful day. But I guess it's not everything set in stone yet, right? If we need to move something, we can until the NOR is
Yeah.
published.
Yeah, well, the only ones that are once we start a series, and the other thing is Mayor's Cup and TVCC kind of need to not change dates a lot.
Yeah.
Classes.
Once that involve out of time.
Here.
Did I forget to change all the dates on?
You can see Steve change.
Yeah, the 28th and 29th.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Well, I had talked to Muscle Shoals and they had wanted 28th, and I came to you guys and presented it as 20th for some reason. And so if we could, I'd like to have it on 28th so that Muscle Shoals guys or Tommy Glenn and them.
Yeah, no problem.
We thought
I
that it
didn't
was
think
in
no, this was a.
It was. I just
Okay.
moved it. I guess I should have told you. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm trying to shuffle everything.
It's one of the type, no problem.
I have a quick question. Like I know you said some Sundays if the weather, if it looks like sun's gonna go down earlier, we'll change the time, so
Yeah.
it fluctuate about. Are you gonna text everybody or send an email notification about what time it's actually gonna start?
Well, right now it's all set at with,
This gonna be this?
right now, the time that it's set at, we should be able to do.
Okay,
But if for some reason it's feeling not, yeah, we'll make sure we just send blast out an email that we could do a big change.
Okay.
We'll know who's racing by then anyway, so at worst case, we'd call you directly or
Okay.
text you.
All right. Let's go on to the sailing instructions for this year. I guess Chris went through them, I went through them, Greg went through them. So gotta be plenty of errors and
Yeah, I can see different dates, 2023, 2022, 2021.
so I guess we're gonna race with the latest racing rules of sailing available from US Sailing, or there's a link in the racing tab to that also. Different than before. Eligible boats. You can sail here just by completing a registration at the clubhouse, or you can tell the race committee beforehand, or you can just notify them on the line, show up on the line. That's what Bullet C is about. If you show up on the line, you're kind of blindsided everybody. So you're gonna get a generic sale declaration of 155%, in the spend. We did all that to give everybody every opportunity to join in on the race. So if you're out sailing around, you say, hey, they're racing. You can just come join in. That's what that was about.
Which is, except for pursuit races.
Yeah,
If you if you have a brand new boat, you come join, we don't even know what time you're supposed to start because we're out there, so. You need best to come to the clubhouse first, so let race committee know, or me know about your boat a day before you race,
yeah.
when you buy a new one.
Pursuit handicaps have to be compiled up front before the race. Develop the starting times. So it's impossible just show up at the very last minute, expect to race. Well, we only have a few pursuit races. Let's see. Now, we've got the same rule we always had. To have a race, you gotta have 3 boats. You can, looks like we're gonna have fleets. A dinghy fleet, a keelboat fleet, and a crane fleet.
Oh, crap.
And there's the 3 boat limit of referred to each fleet or to the overall race. So there's 1 cruiser and 5 boats. Do you get the race?
Yes, so,
So you get first.
no, you don't, there is no first. If you read the instructions,
Well,
three boats to race, 2 to be scored.
okay,
So if you were out there by yourself, you're just out there having fun.
but if you have 2 boats, you can do it.
The 2 boats will still get scored, first and second. The third will be unscored. You'll just have to,
Whatever fleet.
yeah, so if you race with your dinghy and there's 2 other keel boats, you're not gonna get anything for racing. But the other 2 can race,
So my life will be richer.
but they will only get, exactly, they'll only get
Get free.
first and second, they would not get the third. And if you look at the Cox and Sprague's scoring system, first and second on 2 boat race is a lot less points than
Right.
beating 3 boats, so.
Would it bother anybody if that dinghy started with the keel boats and went around the course?
We're gonna do that. We are gonna start dinghies and keel boats together.
No, there's one dinghy there.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna start them up together.
Okay, I mean, you know, it wouldn't bother you if I sailed, you know, keel boats.
Just give us a few extra minutes.
I just got, don't touch it.
Then I was just gonna spring it up here and it might hold the weight.
Yeah.
It's good. Did that answer your question, Ian?
I'm gonna sail.
Yeah,
I
I
have to
mean,
be on the same course.
if you're on dinghy, your sail, it's all gonna be the same course.
Yeah.
Unless it's specified in like a regatta or something. Or the RC before the race. Before the race, if the RC wants to say, hey, I want, you know, King needs to go this, and I want keel boats to do this, and
Yeah.
he'll post it and tell
I'm
you.
not gonna be the.
Most people won't do that.
Here's some more usual rhetoric. Notice to competitors, section 3. So we're gonna, if there's something we need to communicate with you, this is the official notice board. And so again, so you don't blindside the competitors and say, oh, we told everybody we're just gonna start over there. Instead, it must be in writing. It must be on the board. Number 4, change in sailing instructions. Posted on the drifter notice board. Skippers meeting. We're gonna have at least an hour before the start. Then, schedule of races. Race schedule is located on the BCSA website, which I gave you a link to, showed you where to find it. Okay. Racing area. Was in the vicinity of Lower Gunnersville Light. Everybody know where Lower Gunnersville Light is?
Yep.
3 telephone poles right out there with a big bird on it. Section 6, the course. Let's talk about the course for a second. The course describing notice of race. So what we'll say is it'll be in the vicinity of LGL. It'll be around buoys. All this should be described in the notice of race. Now, I plan to send out a notice of race prior to every race as the secretary. It'll also be on BCSA Facebook page. And, where else? But that's the official notice, the notice of race. Let's see. Section 8.3, a boat may cross the finish line while racing, even if she is not finishing. Now, what that's about is, sometimes, a big regatta, a lot of boats. The finish line can be designated as the gate during the race. The gate might be open or it might be closed. If it's closed, you go through that gate and you
It's a
can be
penalty.
disqualified.
Yeah.
Yes, Keith. They close gates to kind of minimize traffic. If you have 50 boats going through, it's hard to keep track of everybody. Even if you've got stragglers going the wrong way.
Yeah, and it keeps, lets them allow to starts occasionally while another race is in the middle of going.
Sometimes you open the gate so you can take pictures, get them close to you. See. If there's no designation about the gate, it's considered open. This committee, as usual, may shorten the race. If he shortens the race, he's gonna display the S flag, Sierra. It's white with a blue center. It's when there's some,
Curling down.
yeah. Shorten the race, displays the S flag. I don't think there's any rule in the racing instructions about when you gotta do that, but etiquette through the years has been that to do it at a corner, arc or something, do it before they got on that previous leg.
That's
I think there used to be that rule there, but it kind of got eliminated for some reason, I guess. Expediency or something. But if you see an S flag, that means the race has been short. Now, if he shortens the race, he's probably gonna he's gonna have an S flag up. He's probably gonna give you a sound. Where is that? Yeah. Signify shortened course. Yeah. Sound usually about two horns or something. You get your.
So where they might see that really happen is like you set the course for two laps because you had a good win and then dies on you. So you're like, shit, let's put out one lap. So he flies that, press the button, doesn't do anything. It's just everybody coming in will finish at that point. Now you can go, I'll take the boat and everything, go set up a finish somewhere else, but that's a lot more work.
We're gonna eliminate the mark.
Well, I guess you could,
How do you designate which mark it is?
I don't know. That's a question.
we're trying to figure out how to word that. We're trying to figure out how, especially when you're doing it alone, have the finish line in a shortened course, the regular finish line. Really no rule says you can do that, but you can do it if you put it in the sailing instructions. Now, how do you make that known? Well, usually there's no wind when that happens. It's light. You just blow the horn out and wave the S flag, and they all seem to know to finish there. But we had a national championship in a Flying Dutchman one time, and they did that, and they threw the race out. It really isn't in the rules and wasn't in the sailing instructions. We won that race. So
Well,
you have to write it down.
I've seen it like everybody's trailing out towards Mark, and then the race committee just grabs their stuff up and then goes to the mark that they're at, and then puts a finish. And that way everybody can just cross and finish at the end.
Yep.
So
That's the real way to do it. Do it alone when you're trying to anchor and get over there and anchor again and flags.
All right, let's move on to marks. We got two kind of marks. We got orange tetrahedrons and we got yellow cylinders. Please, whatever is about the two. Tetrahedrons are a little more visible. Yeah.
I can't see.
Now it's about starting and finishing marks between the main mast on the committee. or a flag staff with an orange flag at the start. Orange usually means an element of the race committee. So if you looked at the committee vote and you saw an orange flag, start between it and the pin. Finish between it and the pin also, or if the race was shortened, it and county mark or something. The race committee may display a large mark, behind the committee vote. Now that's sort of there to, tell you to go around that large mark. It's there, the guys don't want you to hit his vote, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that happens on real aggressive fleets. I've seen 5 votes trying to fit in the spot of 2.
Well, a lot of times the barging mark just, they'll hang a fender off the back and let it float. But because it's connected to the committee boat, it's considered running into the committee boat. You don't want to do it.
Usually a guy has a new boat, you don't want you hitting it or something like that. Let's see. Start. Races held within ordinance rule 26 of the racing rules of set. Now, let's see. And there's not really much different than past years. Let's see, Chris has an orange flag up, indicate start or finish line. Scroll down there. 6 minutes, warning, 6 minutes to the start, there's no flag. You might have had to answer and print it up
Yeah.
the time that previous to that. Answer and pin it really means postpone the race. We always, here, convention has always been to use it previous to, start, drop it at 6 minutes.
When does
But you may not see that anywhere but here.
it come down?
The answer and pin it comes down previous
6 minutes.
to the 6 minutes.
Yep.
So we're not using an answer.
It's not required. I mean, if you want to do it, but I mean, all of you got to be out there. So a new guy doing it, having to throw that up and remember to take it back down. It's just a step that we kind of.
But then it's to come within hail instead.
Yeah, you could do that if you want to talk to everybody.
He means I'm late.
But it also indicated the way we've been using it, of course, it said that you're ready,
Right,
everybody
you're
come
ready.
within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can
Yes.
start at 6 rather than wait till the hour.
When it goes up, you know that the sequence could start
Yeah.
at any time.
Well, you're getting a 6 minutes. So within a minute before the start, you're going to get 5 horns. So,
Still, you could be way off
And not here.
and not know that you had.
yeah, you
Fine
could
for
take you
preliminary
could take the orange one down while you were doing it if you wanted to. I mean, but everyone try to stay close. Whatever you guys want to do. I was trying to make it. I mean, I've raced a ton of races without using an answering fence. This is the one place I've seen does that. But that's why I left it out, make it optional if you want to. If you want to put it back in, I'm fine with that too. But whatever.
I think we'll match everybody else.
That's why I did it. I mean, you can put the come within hail flag up like if it's taking a long time. So,
Like that.
but the horn, which he's going to demonstrate later, has the 5 beeps automatically programmed into it. So they have it where you can have 1 or 5 beeps at the 6 minute. It's just nice to get, and that's something just loud. You're going to hear it. But it's burr, 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 and that's 6 minutes on it. So we'll demo it afterwards.
Outside.
All right, let's move forward. At 5 minutes till the start, what do? We raise our warning signal. Warning signal here is a white flag, but what if you had a class like Flying Scots, you've raised a Flying Scot flag, or no, we got a beaten near 15 flag. The warning signal is here white, or if you're got some sort of class fleet going on, it'll be a fleet flag. At 4 minutes to the start, now your warning signal, the white flag or the fleet flag is still up. So at 4 minutes to the start, you'll raise the preparatory signal, the P flag, blue with the white center. Okay. And you'll have sound. Should have told you 5 cents at 6 minutes, but that's just an operation of a new one.
Yeah.
Okay. See, at 1 minute to the start, we got the P flag and the class flag up. We're gonna drop the preparatory signal, P flag. Send it 1 minute to the start. And 0, the start of the race, break signal comes down for the class flag, whatever you got. And Chris has a note here about what represents the class. He's got 5 minutes. Let's see. Move forward a little bit. Section 10.2, time is taken from the visual signals. We got horns going off there. Got these flags going up. Visual signals predominant. That's what matters. You hear a horn going off, you really don't mean anything. 10.3.
That's just that what the star line is.
Yeah. A, B, C, or D.
It's usually a pin. I don't know. I've inherited the instructions from last year's and changed them, but you could use A, B, C, or D as one of the tetrahedrons to the boat if you wanted to, but or a pin, which is the round red one. So
Okay, what's going on? It's defining the starting line there. Section 11 recalls. So you got somebody that's really aggressive, you're charging the line, trying to get ahead of everybody. The racing books say the start is everything. You can see that a lot of times. If whoever's at the line first, they're pretty much gone. But so they get over the line, they're so aggressive. So what happens? You call them back, you fly the X flag. And that matches racing rules of sailing number 29.1. Well, what if the whole fleet's just charging the line? And there's a bunch of them, and you lost track, you don't know who did what. So you fly the general recall flag, which
Oops, I thought we were-
general recall flag right there. And its proper name is you know what?
Needs okay.
Is that the red and white one?
It's the blue and white.
The pennant,
The pennant.
blue.
Oh, is it yellow,
Yellow,
blue, or blue and white?
So the yellow, blue, this pen right here.
General, which one is the recall? One to the right?
X is the recall.
yeah, and sometimes you can yell out if you're a race committee when they fly the individual recall. You could yell out as a courtesy to who it was, but you're not required to because they probably can't hear you.
If they don't come back, we just call them.
Yeah,
We're
they're
gonna
just
start
screwed.
bringing a PA system on.
I mean, they've never started the race, so
So I can yell.
If there's one or two.
Yeah.
I rear.
And most of our
I also-
flags,
okay. Yeah.
most of our flags in our bag are, that is marked. So, have them out on the deck. But you don't have to, you don't have to know that yellow and blue is general recall because it says it on the
And
margin of it.
if you think you've like started the race and they have that flying, you think maybe that was you. Start looking back and ask them, and if it doesn't go down because nobody's turned around, it probably is you.
I find that it's works really well to have that X flag pole over the side of the boat
Ready.
down and looking over there, and you know what? I've not had anybody over except Dave Chapman.
Hmm.
In what, 4 years?
So it's a display of a threat.
Uh-huh.
Authority.
Yeah,
All right, let's see, recalls. So we got the individual recall, general recall. So if you fly the general recall, everybody has to come back and we're gonna start the race over. Usually if you do it, the general recall, there's no answering pin, it goes straight into the sequence.
Most likely that you'll end up just hitting the start and it'll do the 5 to 6 minutes. Otherwise, you'll have to reprogram it. It'd be just easier to hit start again. Let everybody know that you're going back to the 6.
And if you screw things up, you can use a general recall too. Yeah, if race committee screw, it's also a race committee screw up.
Yeah, that's important.
I lost my time and dropped the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like ready or
Drop your
ready
beer.
for flag or something.
All right?
Yeah.
So this isn't in there, but you can use it. Now we have all these flags. But we also have this India flag. Y'all ever see that? It comes out about once every couple of years. Anybody? That means don't go forward in the starting line inside
It's about
Don't be over the line and one at the laser midwinters, they don't even bother starting a race without that flag up. That way they can record numbers all during that 1 minute, not at the instant that the gun goes off. And
Yeah.
So it's
So-
1 minute or 5 minutes?
with that particular one, the I flag, at the 1 minute before the start, they can't be over the line.
Okay,
If they go blinded, they have to go around.
Around the end.
Yeah.
so that keeps you from going over the line and then dipping,
dip start.
right, a dip start right before the start.
Which
Yeah, we
is-
go over the back.
Really? Yeah. We did recalls, finish lines. Finish lines, orange flag between the committee vote and mark, whatever it is, A, B, C, or D, 4 p.m.
We don't use blue.
This is the finishing line, exactly. Dave is saying is, when the committee votes on the station, he shouldn't be flying a blue flag.
Yeah,
That's, it changed. That's, I'll put you in the same place.
yeah, I took that out because it was kind of pointless having 2 flags when we're not having a start and a separate finish. So when have a separate finish on the other side, then we should definitely have a blue flag. But if you want, I mean,
Always forget to change them.
The blue
Yeah.
flag is supposed to be on the coach.
finish.
yeah, the new rules say the blue flag, so if you're gonna use the same line, you'd have to have a blue and an orange one up, which is just more flags out, so whatever.
But it
Yeah.
has to find, if you have one side or the other, one side could be the finish and the other side.
That's what I said, if you have a start and a finish line separate, then obviously you need to use. But we're only gonna do that in like a decent sized regatta, which that's gonna be in those sailing instructions. So-
We've lost our blue flag, so you'll need to get one.
So,
We don't even have a blue flag, so.
Yeah, we used to have one, it got lost.
All these pennants on here, do we have those?
Yeah, we have all.
Where do they live? I mean,
They live out in the TARDIS usually,
bag.
or
But they're
in the
separate
office.
from our bag of flags on a pole.
Are they in here or are they out
Yeah,
there?
I've never seen them.
They're out there. You
Yeah.
bring them.
now I think we're gonna do race community on boats later, so you can see them then.
The ones we don't use very often, sometimes just stay. The
Yeah.
TARDIS not in the bag.
Okay.
Well, we got a time limit on the races, 2 hours. For the first vote, I think.
Yep.
So they don't leave us out, but they're out there. If the wind totally quits, it's just, here we get racing, it's not fair to me. Except to finish your vote. Sorry. If we have a protest on the water, so you get your civil rights violated. We have a way for you to seek redress. Now, What you do is, you file a protest, you get that guy thrown out or whatever, maybe you ask for some time back. You have that option. But to do it, you have to, alert the committee vote. When he docks coming after the race, he'll sound a horn, which is 1 hour after he docks now. But you must get your protest forms.
I changed it. It's 30 minutes. Half the time I can't get up here that quick. I'm putting shit together.
It's curious, that Gordon used to say that when you think that the infringement has occurred, you raise a red flag on your boat, so everybody knows that you're gonna file protest. Is that still true?
That's true. 720 rule is still in effect, isn't it?
It's for boats under 7 meters. You don't have to.
That'd be all.
So you can all protest.
Sonars don't have to. J24s didn't have to, except the class rule says they do.
Yeah.
And very few boats here really have to. You just have to say the word protest.
People say,
You don't even have to tell them the rules when you tell them.
protest.
Yeah.
Rule 17.
I wouldn't do that. You might be wrong.
No problem.
What's the most common reason for?
We're starting.
Sergeant Short.
Thanks.
There's that. And there's
Mark.
Mark.
Encouragement at a mark.
That's.
And, mark roundings are a little bit confusing.
Or people,
Go there if you want later.
yeah, collisions too.
Oh, such-
You know, someone's bumping into each other and somebody doesn't do it.
To avoid a protest, if somebody's protesting, you can do your turns.
Yeah, if he yells protest at you, you do the turn. and you're-
Buoy. I did do that wrong.
And what you
Then if you do your turns,
Meaning.
Just a 360 or something.
Events.
720 for infringement, 360 hit a mark.
And you gotta do it away from all the other boats.
Should go ahead and do.
protest. So it's good to know your rules because Ed will protest you. And if you think you're right, go for it.
You still wearing red on?
If you know you were in the wrong, it'd be wise to do your turns.
I go ahead and do 2 turns because you never know.
You never
If you're.
Usually it happens, there's no damn wind to
Yeah,
go.
it's true.
Well, anyway. About that protest. If you find that red flag, it helps you to substantiate your case. Because when you do that, it gets everybody's attention. If the guy knows he's violated the rules or hurt your feelings or whatever. The opportunity to exonerate himself by doing terms. So even though I guess that rule's gone about, it helps you to substantiate your case.
makes you feel better.
And if you use the rules to fake somebody out, knowing that you're using a rule that isn't right, but it's a new sailor, then that's a disqualification without being able to throw it out.
Ooh, really?
So when Gordon yells port,
Yeah, exactly. Well, port is okay, but if you yell starboard and you're on port, you know,
he yelled port, and he was on port.
yeah. And that's fair sailing. Fair sailing.
There's a lot of changes in the rules. So, hope you will keep real stuff in mind. I don't see the 720 rule in here, is it?
I think it's set up to, that you have to follow the,
Back to the-
Rules are racing.
I think it's set up, you have to follow the rules of racing,
Yeah.
which those are all standard.
Can't write everything in there that's already in the full rule book. You know.
Where are we at? Now, when I was getting these printed, thanks to my lovely wife,
Go market, go.
see, I added some notes and, probably maybe shouldn't. She went ahead and added them, maybe it shouldn't be. But we, right now, we're handicapping with Portsmouth rules Saline published in 2017. I think the Portsmouth handicap system is becoming defunct. That's what we got. And we know how to use right now. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the fairest one we've had. It always took a lot of subjectivity out of the process. Now, there's pick me up later for it. We've always handicapped with whether or not you're carrying a spinnaker, the cell size, and we occasionally had a prop up. Like maybe some guy had a boat, came with a 2-bladed prop and he wanted to put a 3-blade on there. We could handle that. You can take that out if you want. Well, you can also go the other way. Now you can say, well, he's faster. He got a folding prop on there. These are the usual handicaps, A, B, and C. Used to you could petition the race committee, get whichever you want, like maybe you had a too long spinnaker pole or something like that. Usually it didn't help. Now, of course, with handicap.
Yeah, but let me ask a question. I don't know this answer. If somebody wants to change or says that, hey, the handicap's not fair, how do they do that in this club? Do they come to the race chair and then we sit down with okay. So if you get a boat and you don't feel like your handicap rating is right, then you need to petition me and then I'll bug him or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out, you base it on performance? Or-
I have no idea. There are things I don't know. Dave Ellis will tell us.
There's been some boats that lighten ship, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they're no longer class.
Well, you should follow your class rules no matter what. Doesn't,
Probably.
well, I don't know what people are doing, but like my boat has a class and I have to have an anchor. So I'm gonna race with it. You should follow your class rules. That's what your ratings are based on. So, but I'm not gonna go around and check everybody's boats.
Yeah.
So it's honor system.
And give you a background of how that's done. There's a race every year from Florida called the Mug Race. It goes from Palatka to Jacksonville, it's 40 miles up the St. Johns River. And you get 100 boats, 80 boats, whatever, depending on the weather. And some of them are weird. Guess who does the handicap?
Well, good, because I was gonna go to
And you get a boat, for example, an international 10 square meter canoe. Doesn't have a handicap. But you go by your gut feeling, but mostly you go by how they do compared to other boats. I happen to have owned one, so I know the same speed as a 505. You finish right together, so you put it the same as 505. Your Melga's 15 is an 86. I think that's pretty quick. So we may have to modify that, you know? But
well, I mean, if all the Melges 15s are always losing, then we'll know that it's wrong.
exactly.
Yeah, because we want everyone to be competitive.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to take your old ass boat that has nasty shit growing off the bottom and give you a little better handicap because you won't clean your boat. But
Yeah, that's a
But
problem.
there are boats out there that, like John Guire's old boat. I gave him time and he could walk away from me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't fair at all.
oh yeah,
If you look at his boat, he stripped it all out, all the excess weight's gone, it's not class rated.
yeah.
This guy used to buy a loser type boat. Catalina 22 used to be that way because all the boats were sailed by, well, you know, good old boys. And so there was one guy that always went, well, they raised the handicap, you know, lowered, whatever, because it was, nothing wrong with the boat. And one guy was always. Yeah, Tommy used to do that. Then he'd go to a different class when they raised the yeah, famous for it.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Anyway, there's an extensive table within the Portsmouth book about this. It's 2 pages. You can look at that. Some evidence if you want it to petition the race committee. You want us to talk about those. So we'll take that out if you want. All right.
Yeah.
What we do, we got a horse-coat handicap system. It's, maybe we need to switch to a different board for that. And we're coming up on the section. Now, I think we got this new scoring system this year. I'm not quite sure I understand.
Well, the individual races are still done the exact same way. They're done low point
It's 1 point individual race.
for individual races.
But then we get to series, what happens?
Then so in a regatta, it's still done low point. So if you have 3 races in a regatta, it's still low point. Which means, first is worth 1 and second's worth 2, and third's worth 3. So if you were to get in 3 races, 3 first places, you'd have 3 points. That would be low point. And then series scoring is individual races are still low point, but then we're using Cox and Sprague system, which is a variant of the high point system for the overall series scoring. So basically, it gives you a percentage of points for the number of other boats you beat in each race, and then it's averaged all the way up. The math, I think you can go online and look at the math if you want to, but it's supposed to allow you to sail. I think we have qualification of 50% of the races in the spring and fall series to qualify, and so you can race different races with different amounts of boats and not all the races, and it comes up with a pretty fair way of telling you who won first, second, and third, or all the.
It behooves you that if conditions aren't what you want, just don't even start.
Absolutely. It's what it's for. It's supposed to say if it's shitty racing, let's not go racing.
Yeah.
Now, but if you want to, if you're like I was, Ben, a lot of times I'll race in nothing just because I want to be out there.
Yeah.
And you'll get 2 or 3 guys who want to do it, and then you'll get a bunch of guys that are like, or if I have to go on vacation, have a life, I can't race. So you have the long scoring series, you have to race at least 50% race. Now the Frostbite series, which is this year the first series, those you have to race all the races. It's not the scoring system's relevant.
You're also better on only racing 50% of the races.
No, that's not true. Because if
Your points, so.
but if you did really crappy, you want to start. If you can do better, you want to race more. Sit down with the math and look at it sometime. Then
Look at the math because this doesn't show that.
yeah, because it's well worth racing more than 50% of races if you're not done good.
They race 50% of the races, but they have more votes, score higher.
Yeah.
You race 50% of the races and you didn't race as many
But
votes.
the highest count points loses, the lowest points wins. So if you
Right.
ran exactly 50
You're
races.
thinking about 2 different things.
Yeah, well, I'll show you. We'll look at that later. I'll show you all the math on it. You can play with an Excel sheet and try and experiment. So, but the Frostbite, Brian, you have to be at every race because you get points for every boat you beat. So if you have 2 boat or 5 boats that you beat, then you're going to get 5 points. But it's a real short series.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get everyone to come to all of those. So, anyways.
I think it goes into times after this, series scoring.
Oh, and the Frostbite, it's mandatory that you bring a dish of food that whatever the theme is for the entrance fee.
Like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna eat and hang out afterwards. This next one is next Saturday, and it's soup. So bring a bowl of soup.
See? Well, this says a section here about ties. Now, let me tell you this, when I first started racing, like forever ago, I thought, I was in a series and I thought I'd placed finally, I won some sort of trinket or something, and I got burnt on times. So, kind of behooves you to read all this and understand. Remember, I was this close to beating Bob McCoy. Well, he got pulled away from me the last second. just because, he showed up in a racing area. He didn't race, he just showed up.
Huh.
The throwouts, that's, I guess whatever the race committee wants to do. I guess, they probably got a lot of races here.
There's no throw, we haven't set any throwouts for the series at this point. But I want to leave it open in case they wanted to do for like, a regatta over a 2 day or something. You know, wants to throw outs or something. I don't know.
really need to say, because the rules say that there'll be a throwout.
I left throwouts out.
Say there isn't.
But you can, like in notice of race, can't you do
Yeah.
that? Like.
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't want any,
Notice of race.
I didn't want any for the series, so.
Right.
Not this time. Now, we may change that for the second series, so it might feel like the first one. And we may change the qualification number, so the 50% or down to 40% or up to 60%, depends on what kind of turnout we get at all the races. So we're gonna tweak it as we go.
So remember, look at the north, which comes out previous to the race. Always endeavor to send the north for every race. Do it slowly. I can do it.
So, sounds good to me.
See, boat number. So,
Are you gonna penalize the boat? I'm just curious, it says that the boat that has the main sold number that doesn't match the hull will be penalized. How do you penalize
DSQ.
it?
I don't know where it's a piece of racing.
Yeah, it was your instructions I stole at your wife's. These were hers last year. I have no idea. I didn't even read that part.
Because I mean.
Yeah, who cares on that? Yeah, you just,
I'm just curious, because it says that.
We might have to nix that.
It says you can identify it another way, so they got a red shirt, you know,
That's what I thought.
one with the ugly bottom. I don't mean the person, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but we should, it should say that you have to have a unique number on it. Because you have a Catalina and your sale number is 50 and you sold your sale to Bob and he doesn't bother changing it from 50. We're not, it's hard to tell at that point. So, yeah, he can get a magic marker out and put a 1 next to it. I don't know.
Gotta make it unique.
See. Next section, pursuit races. We got several of them this year. I want to come back to that later. Because that involves them all. All right, next, let's see what we got.
Oh, I forget.
There's the pursuit tables.
Oh, sailboat racing.
All right. Chris wrote us a new section here on, since you're gonna be racing,
I didn't write it. Somebody else did. It was in Susan's,
it's Margaret's fault.
I think it was a Susan Moser's stuff, but it was great. I don't know where you got it from, but it was perfect. So it's like the guide for, I don't know who wrote it. I just stole it.
All right. Let's go through this right quick. Since you're racing here and you're not new, you're gonna have to run a race sooner or later. It's kind of fun, but it can be a little bit intimidating if you hadn't done it before. I really suggest going with somebody else first.
Yeah, we're actually going to schedule all the newbies or not, people who've not done it to be assistants to people who have. We're not going to leave you out there to hang.
Now, when you run a race, you kind of got to get ready. You just can't go down there with your 6-pack of beer, step on the boat, and go. It don't work that way.
It's 12-pack.
You gotta think about it. You gotta look at the conditions. You might. I know Nick Mangus used to say, go out there an hour before the race, which is good for a regatta or something. You got people, maybe a series of day racing. You may not want to do stuff like that, but we do pretty much the same thing all the time. For the committee meeting, you gotta do certain things. You gotta get the race committee boat ready. And it should work. Remember that word should. God only a lot of times it has not worked. But usually if you got a good bus Commodore, it'll life. Now you gotta find our marks. We got yellow cylinders, we got orange tetrahedrons. You gotta get them to the boat. They're actually stored on the boat now. Within the committee boat, there's also a leaf blower, which will inflate the marks in about 15 seconds. And you gotta find signal flags. They're in the blue TARDIS at the end of the clubhouse here. Everybody know what a TARDIS is?
No idea.
Those are blue, giant, phone blue. That's a time machine on Dr. Who.
Okay.
On the outside,
Ah,
First
gotcha.
you gotta get a key. And
And the key is stored in
The desk.
the desk.
top right drawer of the desk
In here?
in there. Top right drawer, and it's marked
Ice machine.
general recall.
No,
Yeah, the opposite.
No, to the right of the ice machine.
Yeah, it's got the name of the boat written on it. Name of our committee boat is General Recall.
That's all you know.
That's good. And they gave it to me so I can lose it.
Y'all put it in.
Mark over there.
And make sure, make sure you put it back.
Yeah, put it like in the ginger.
You gotta find the signal flags, take them to the boat. They're in a red thing in there. But again, it behooves you to look in there, make sure they're all there. Things change race to race. You need a few, we'll go over that in a few.
Oh, Ed, I forgot, we need to add, you need to take the horn too, so we have a new horn right there. It's portable.
Where's that gonna lead?
That's gonna live in there and it's be plugged in, so you'll unplug it, take it with you, and then when you're done, you'll bring it back and plug it back in, rechargeable battery.
All right. Get the horns, get the flags. Yeah, I'm not sure how much gas the new motor will use.
Do we have the new motor?
It's.
We have a new motor coming.
Scared Marie.
Oh, that's right. He wants to take the boat
Brand
to
new
this.
motor. So I would guess it probably we need at least a half a tank. You know,
The new one's a 4-stroke too, so.
all right, got to get all that stuff together. We're gonna talk about what marks here a little while. See, we got to get a sign up sheet, and we have sign up sheets. Right,
Where do they live?
On this.
on the desk, next to the key. I'm not gonna lose. Now, something about the sign up sheet here. We've done this in the past, it always seems to disappear. But I put a disclaimer at the bottom of sign up sheet. The reason for that is that that's, I guess, how would you say it, counselor? That's how to protect all of us, since we're an organization and
It's way
we're providing this event, we can assume some sort of liability. Now, if you're a member of the organization, I've always heard the thing, you can't sue yourself. But Browns Creek has always allowed anybody who wants to race to race. We have open races. So that disclaimer is there for that reason. Somebody gets out there and gets their finger in a winch or something, or gets hurt.
It's the bridge.
Yeah, there's
It's a bridge.
I think, when I first started racing with Linda, she had an expression, you know, something we used to do that was a lot of fun, can't do no more. She said, some lawyer somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for this disclaimer. So you, if somebody's not a member, make sure they sign that.
Yeah, I think
Just give us some sort of protection, which
We also had in there on the paid part where you put A if you paid annual, so that way you don't have to give the $10. And don't forget that our treasurer will be verifying that you are actually an annual person.
You're responsible for your crew member. They're not necessarily members.
Yeah,
So,
when I went to the noon, every crew member got to sign.
some areas, yeah.
Yeah. So, we got our sign up sheet ready. We gotta start taking money. Series races, $10, I think. You can. Non-member, 15, 20.
That's what you wanted was 20.
That's what I wanted.
Not
Oh.
meeting or, yeah, a couple meetings back. To encourage people to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as you don't wait. Okay, we get them signed up. We're. I'm just saying. You go up there and all of a sudden you're the goodwill ambassador. In front of you, I'll smile you. You say, welcome to the race, introduce you. Sometimes you go around, see who's the new people are, get them to announce their sales, what you're selling on time. Okay. If you're good place committee, you tell them about the weather forecast, which you've looked up already. Chris has a link to that on the webpage also, right?
I think there is. I think Luke, B put that on there.
Okay,
But something, there is one. But we all have them on our phone and you can stand there and look too.
we got new people, you might ought to have to quickly describe the starting sequence of flags. I think we probably have you get ready to go, you take the sign up sheet to the race committee vote. Make sure you have a watch, which I'm guilty of. Not having. I usually listen to the rest of it.
Or your phone will have a watch too. So.
Question, just because I hadn't, all Christmas video, does the new horn do a count down afterwards?
No. It just resets itself.
So it won't count for the whole race?
No, it just counts down.
Just the start.
It's the start.
So what are we gonna use for a timer for the race?
Well, you should know what time you start, right? You write it down, use your phone, like the start.
Actually, just, you have to have a watch.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't help you in any way.
Is the clear start watch still on that board back there?
It doesn't work. Yes, it's on the board, but it doesn't work.
Is a $7 battery?
The buttons are, yeah, functioning.
Oh, somebody.
I mean, your phone can show you the start time. You just have to flip to a mode that's got seconds on it.
If you're there by yourself and you're racing flags and then you got,
Yeah, I can't help you with that. You're gonna have to
Figure it out.
figure it out. We're trying not have race committee go by themselves, but we really should have 2 people every time if we can.
Yes, yeah. So Pat's gonna put us on the charge for the USB. So that.
But we can get it. I mean, stopwatch should be cheap if you want to get another stopwatch. You just want the total time. Like on a stopwatch, we'll do that.
Stove timer.
Yeah.
And it was on, works great.
There you go.
No matter if you drop it in water. You
Hmm.
They got the fancy citizen racing watch. I can't read the numbers. Cost hundreds. Let's see, we got on the race course, we're going out. If we hadn't set up the course already, we're gonna go out and set it up. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Come back and we're gonna get played on. This might be a good thing to try out Chris's new starting.
Because
That's why I'm dismantling it, so that
yeah,
it's not so loud.
it's unhooked.
All right, we're approaching 6 minutes to the start.
Yeah, so
What flag we got?
AP, maybe.
See, this,
Be nothing.
this is disconnected, so you guys don't have to hear it, okay? When we get ready, we'll plug it back in, then you'll hear it. So it's got on the backside, it's got the list of times. So if you want to start at 2 minute or 5 minute or 7 minute or whatever, it's a bunch of little programs. And you can read about it online. I've set it up for the 6 minute or 5 minute with the 6 minute beeps. So there's the LCD. I don't know if you can see it. But if we turn it on, 6 minutes. See, it says 6 minutes. Horn can be pressed anytime. See, anytime you want to press the horn, it's a horn. Okay. Here we can shut it in there. Hold that. I'll let you hear how loud it is. Okay, that's the demo of how loud that suckers. If you want to change the modes, go and read the instructions. This one's a 6 minute stun. You could switch it a 5 minute with a 6 minute warm, but you could change mode and make it like a 5 minute rolling start. So if we wanted to do 2 fleets in a row for like Mayor's Cup, you can change the mode and then it'll start the next one automatically. So when you want to hit start, you click start. There's go 5. And then as it counts down, it'll actually like do a ding at 30 seconds and then a ding at 20 and at 10.
Mhm.
So you know that the flag is like, hey, wake up, quit drinking beer, pay attention.
Flag.
And then when you get down to 1 minute, like the last 5 seconds, it bings at you, little feeps. Anyways, keep talking while we're waiting for this thing.
Chris, I think you put a video.
There's
for
30
this
seconds.
Webpage, right?
Yeah.
So
And and instruction, links to
So we're setting up the thing, we're fixing to get going here. We got our X flag out just to disqualify somebody falling back. We got, so what flag would we have up right now at 5 minutes? We'd have a
there's the
warning flag, right?
Yeah, here comes the 5.
Warning flag went up, white flag. All right, we got a minute to go, and what flag comes up? The preparatory signal, P flag.
Blue flag.
Sorry.
People were jockeying around about one of them was trying to get to starboard mini boat. They're out there messing around. Some of them maybe get port tack. Things start to make noise there. Was
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Yeah, see, you're the 3 beeps, so it's telling you 4:30, and that's 4:20. It's the best one I've seen. I've never seen one that tells you before because I swear I get distracted. It's like, oh,
Yeah. Is that
you know,
minute or
or a buddy will be driving by and go,
Sailing around, we're jockeying for position. He's approaching 4 minutes. You've got to find that B flag, get it up. So we're 4 minutes to the start.
Blue flag, white
Blue
flag.
flag.
And when y'all are raising the flags, do it sharp. Like you're on,
It's the time.
like you're on the flag line of the high school team. Sharp. Because if you just kind of like, kind of put it up, is this the right? And if you're unsure, then the sailors are unsure too.
I had
So
a guy break.
put it up or put it down.
Staff while lowering it one time.
Yeah.
Whang, broke it. But
Yeah, well, don't do that.
you can see.
and at least with this thing with the beep, so you'll be able to really tell you'll be able to really get ready for them. Bam, you know.
So we're out here 3 minutes from now. We got the warning signal up, P flag, territory. We're sailing around, everybody's looking at each other, trying to figure out where to start. Where are you gonna go? You gotta pick that out. Usually I've sailed away from the mark a certain amount of time. Come back near that amount of time. I'm gonna try to do what I can, look for a spot in the line. Anybody's available that's a real competitor, I might try to push them over the line. Whenever we got. So where we at? We're at
2:30.
2 minutes, 30 seconds. It's on the front there. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? This is where I start talking to my crew. I say, what are we gonna do?
I'll look at you go, I don't know, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you think, what do you think about we do this? Oh, that's great.
Usually what
Should we do it this way? I don't know.
usually what it is we probably talking and we miss the warning signal.
And the start.
Trying to start on the P and get all our times right. Get ours. Something ordered.
This is the longest 5 minutes unless you're on the sail course. Then it's like that quick.
Okay. See.
It'll beep at 1:30, so.
Already went head to the wind and trying to figure out the wind. Get my strategy in order, which is usually follow Chadwick or Ellis.
Fire move.
Okay. It's approaching
1 minute.
1 minute. What happens at 1 minute? P flag comes down territory.
That's 1:10.
Now, if you're race committee, you're getting ready, you're watching everybody, you set up your boat, you make sure you're not dragging all your flags where you need to be. You're watching these guys, who's gonna get over that line? Got my X flag ready. And 1 minute. Excuse me, at the end of this last minute, my white warning flag, class flags, it's gonna come down, and that's the start of the race.
And you just want to get yourself lined up between your flag and the pin. So you can see if somebody's over.
And it's the windward side of the pen, if it's a big old tetrahedron. Dave will be that close. Chadwick.
They start to
Watch.
Yeah, so when that last horn, you got to start your stopwatch or your watch or whatever, so you.
You,
can keep-
I was
keep
thinking
it
about it.
up.
You could, since you know when you press the horn button, you know that's going to be the 6 minute and you don't have any flag. You could hit both at the same time and it just take 6 minutes off of it at the end. So that if you were by yourself,
Hopefully you're.
instead of trying to take a flag down and hit a start button and all that.
That's what that watch used to get, and I'll take it home, so I can fix it.
Well, this is all. It's amazing we got something this nice. It's expensive, don't drop it in the water. I'm sure it don't float.
Yeah, and we want to make sure we bring it back up. It's, you can take it to the race committee boat, or if we have another boat that goes out in the race committee, it's not our boat, you know, one of the cruisers, they can take it with them, but we want to make sure we strap it down on the boat. We don't want it to fall in the water, and then we want to bring it up and plug it back in to get charged. So the next guys have it for racing.
Where are the boats?
To stick down, or where would you put it on, so it could be heard?
I put in the seat.
The console.
What we need to do on that boat is we need to go out there with it and then maybe put some little edges up and then a bungee over, and that's can be there all the time. That way the next guy is coming in, it's real obvious. Yeah, we'll get Bush to work on that, or somebody will help with that. We'll get T do it.
We've been going for 2.5 hours. Recently, let's take a little 5 minute break. No, that's first.
It's an hour and a half. Hour and a half. Taking a break.
5 minutes.
We're doing team cleanup.
What do you do?
Yes. Each for the pole to be able to put.
Mast up and center boards in.
That's pretty good.
That's a big.
Hey,
Elbow.
y'all been?
Fighting COVID.
Did you get it too?
We both had COVID. He had pneumonia. I didn't have that, but I had COVID rebound from taking the Paxlovid.
Yeah.
And then
It's COVID rebound. It's kind of like the side effects though, or
it suppresses the virus, so your body can't make antibodies to it. And then once you stop taking the Paxlovid, then all your symptoms come back. And you just kind of suck it up.
oh my God.
And then they also have sore throats. He went to the doctor about that last week. And so now I've got it. And the doctors thought it was viral. And so I'm like,
I'm sure if the battery was.
spray and all that. And a histamine.
Petri dish.
I know. I know.
How are you? You doing well?
It was good.
So did I hear that the Tennessee Valley Challenge may change dates?
28,
28, okay. So,
27, 28, maybe, instead of 2021.
okay,
Boy, you cut it close. Wedding anniversary is 30th. I missed the TBC a few years ago. Think I can slide this one back.
at least we don't have very far to go.
Since we're hosting it too,
Yeah.
you know, so. Hope it helps you. You guys are doing all right? Keeping up with your chickens,
Yeah.
your video, I saw the one you put up that looked like a bobcat.
Yeah, that was bobcat on the prowl for my pretty expensive chicken.
Really?
Yeah,
Pretty good size.
I've got a electric netting around those, and then they're in the coop anyway, so. But he would still be able to get it if he wanted to.
Anyway, I'll show you, in your picture of, you know, we started, you know, we started, I mean, here was our little bandy chicken, and, so we started out with, you know, one of those little coops like you buy at the feed store, we're like, that'll work. And quickly, my wife was like, nah. And then she did all her research, so I built it's like going to the zoo, I built a 10 by 10 by, you know, 6 or 8 of it. With hardware quality.
Yep, that's what I got
On it. I've never lost a chicken to a predator, you know.
Did you see the owl?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I took an owl about this tall.
Oh, man.
Going after our bee birds. So we actually lost one to him.
It was the bobcat that was that year.
Well, I had bobcat, but he didn't get any. But the owl got one.
I'm glad to talk to you about it. Yeah.
What I get.
Yeah, I guess she's, you know, she moved because she just couldn't keep up that house.
Well, now they're not showing Rita at
And she moved to Redstone.
Village, yeah.
Oak River, Dusty
She was
Jenkins.
there for a while.
Like, who the hell are these people? I knew you, you out.
2.5 years
But
ago, really
I
started.
finally started putting that on my roster in parentheses
And I didn't have
because,
to
you
get
know,
the
people
beer.
pay for different things later on. They'll pay for socials or whatever, you know. And, I mean, over the years, it's been
Yeah.
hysterical.
But my mom was a couple years.
You know,
Hey,
I get something,
Okay.
because before there was no name, no address, no,
luckily.
sometimes there would be an email that I
That's right.
could respond back.
Good, how you
on, but even then, I mean, your email doesn't always name, some people are, you know,
Is that you?
Meemaw 2010, you know.
Back when the 27 that we picked up over
I
and
It's
just
been comical.
do video.
moved down here.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's.
There's a few of them here.
It's better this year. Chris has really taken over a lot of our, organized all our stuff, and put it out there where I get names and emails and stuff. So
It's
I
working
was just
good.
laughing at all the business names that I get on PayPal. The join, people join through their business and they're like, who the hell is Dusty Book Jackets? Oak River Development, I don't know who that is. So,
So you do IT?
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I keep talking about someone saying I usually do.
Yeah, I work for a company called Elution, ELLUC.
Yeah.
I work remotely.
How do you do, I guess?
We're on the west So if you went to college, or got kids in college, and they signed up around you. College.
Yep. I know what you call it.
I love it. I run that. I work for that. I work in homeschool. Actually, it's funny. I work.
Yeah, I know we're
homeschool part. But I write automation.
Competition
in December. You know, if you them reference codes, or AWS.
About an hour and a half.
So I don't actually.
It's right at
It's just networking needed.
Which is our, the one that it doesn't say under construction.
going out. It's a good day.
I didn't know we had that.
Bunch of, most of our ads for.
Pretty good. So you're going, click here, that menu. When it rains, it gets the heads off. Just started.
It looks a lot better.
Yeah, there's that spot.
Talking with,
Their calendar, you click on it.
Yeah.
Asking for.
Because if you just put
both you already.
at the time.
Yeah, then it's got.
Yeah.
So we had.
That's just like phones, when you can't get rid of them. Well, I can really tell
Just,
I didn't know if I should.
actually, it just, to me, when I go to our website, it's still got things for 5 years ago and nothing brand new.
Yeah.
I know, that's why
I
I
wonder
wonder.
whether they really want to buy something. Look at that.
That's why I took the time to make sure on everything I put out there. If I post on Facebook, I'm sending mass emails out there. All of you.
Love it.
We're gonna make Connecticut.
It shows activity.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep members.
We did that single time.
When they're
Get on
not
it for you.
Class racing.
I appreciate it.
River hat.
We sell both.
Or if you're not ready.
That's normal. I just need a lot of special racing.
We can.
So what do you do?
I do, I'm a product on, we. Yeah. We're in hospital. Yeah. Down here, but it was
Physicians, nurses, documented.
Yeah.
It was a great year. My wife hates racing now because the only time we ever got her on the boat was when we needed coffee. We didn't want to bring a bucket.
Yeah, so.
So she now refuses to race. Done on the class. Such is life.
I'm married well.
I always spend $400 unless I'm like 100%.
Always ready to get.
Yeah, you got the Elliott, right?
It's an agile.
A couple of them.
Okay. He graduated from the light into Elliott the last, just coming up, as I was saying, so. So two races. Before I moved away.
It's funny, I worked for.
Dave Smith, like it was like a sailing club. Before they found out he was, I was the cheerleader in the club, like that's
This sort of.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know Chuck Weaver?
Hey,
I
Ed,
know things.
Yeah, that's what I.
you know, the flags are all in there, but the bag's not. Who took them out of the bag? In there? Does this go out on the boat? It's broken. I think I was supposed to get another one. Where would I get one of these?
We only did one
You dads.
You are? I've seen those.
Really? Is it on the boat? Where's Dave? Staying in here?
Project.
Who-
This looks like something.
Who did
Something like that.
Yeah.
A football coach or something.
Staples is with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go and
I guess they'll figure out all this stuff's on the desk in here. This is this the only day?
Everyone, but I'll be sorry.
How big is the company?
In the US.
The money, we're like over 50 members, we're good. We're good to go. We got
Flush with money.
And you know what's helped more than anything is all these people paying their race fees up front.
Oh, and I need to do that.
Yeah.
Normally, it takes till about July for us to get to the profit. Yeah.
Oh, well, and like.
People have actually joined this year. They've gone ahead and sold their dues.
Hey, that's what I know.
All right, I love it. I love it. I love it. And you are Aaron Jackson. You remember last year?
Yes.
So I'll have all your information. Emails about the only other thing I need. So you're getting our emails.
Yes, I am.
You're good.
You're fine.
Okay, good. I'm a crazy. guy.
Ask her whether you said like Max said, because I feel like I've been married my whole life. Don't you say that. Y'all were great.
He made our display, our end of the year PowerPoint display.
Awesome. My back still feels it, so.
It's kind of obligatory, isn't it?
Well, at least you have your mask.
Yeah.
I'll download it when the mayor's coming.
I saw somebody say that, and who that was.
Ours in the mayor's cup, kaboom, and then Ed did his in a race
So.
last spring. And then Patrick got his stuff up under the bridge, so we're bad. We're bad. That's why we keep spare modes, right?
Training.
Yes, she needs to do it tonight. She does like that.
There it is.
Yeah, I worked for a company. It was out of Hawaii. And I had to, I was like all the technical support of everything. Like.
Yes.
I'll get Butch.
If you really have them.
Going down. We've been very fortunate. Butch's sister.
And
We're
I-
going to see how. But first, we're spending.
We have my sequel cluster.
So we need.
One,
Race committee.
decided
Race last.
shine on the stage.
And we're saying there. So.
What do you think? What time?
Yeah.
So,
just say that.
Oh, I
Performance appraisal.
called it back.
Zach says some other kids around.
Yeah, I got home. 8 grand. Oh, wow. Yeah, but it's,
Yeah.
Sounds fast. You wanna bring somebody?
Last night, 10:30.
Anyway. Yeah, I've got three grandsons now.
For one next week.
I'll go get another.
I didn't get ready. So see you. Happy New Year. That's right.
Yeah.
Gonna figure out how to do how. Racing 35 this year.
Is that in your way?
I think.
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking.
Could be
No, you're fine.
50%.
Yeah, so I know how you feel.
I've been looking, I've been trying to find the. Interview that you see. I think
Please to show.
people did.
Where
are you going? Yeah.
As quick as I can get them to.
What's happening for what?
Great.
Well,
Yeah, I think.
big test.
Yeah.
So she's the.
Oh,
I was
But-
like,
That's right, yours.
It was like the trips, you know. It's not in.
Gotta fit that in.
Yes. Hey,
Donnie George.
hey, Linda, yes, we have that. It's good to see you guys.
Did you drive up? Boy, you're dedicated.
You gotta be here.
Silent fun, wasn't it?
Alabama, and
Why don't we do that?
You go ring the.
literally put my resume in, I set my limit, and I ended up jumping 40,000 more. And Alabama, I was like, well, that was, I felt myself short, so you gotta be careful you don't do that.
Yeah.
Try and get as much as you can.
Right.
That's it. They don't care which way.
I know.
Once you're gone, you're gone, so.
Well, Marshall actually called me.
Hey,
That's how you sort.
Is there a short meeting after this? Is there?
I don't know, our Commodore is not here, our Vice Commodore is not here,
Yeah.
so they never responded after.
And then they were coming in.
Yesterday,
Here, but having to go in.
I actually wouldn't mind.
It's almost like if
A
you
little
have
bit.
any business, say it now, but
I've never-
they, see anybody have a
I've never-
business, so everybody's.
You know, anything on that.
Information out there, so we
Fine.
already.
What's going on, like, you know,
There you go.
flying.
Yeah, I don't, Butch knows. I mean, like last night, let's go eat, I messaged Margaret.
Roll out of bed.
Yeah.
I need to
No.
go somewhere,
We go straight.
you know.
You know,
And we
no,
talked through
it's
Slack
like
and.
the body is just like that. He always said,
Hours.
you have to check with me
For
for
every-
the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
But they,
I'm working on the boat.
And I invite you.
Can I
so
fly
it-
by?
I think that's just-
Exactly.
I love that.
Well, if it's something I want to do, I just say, yeah, we'll be there, and then I tell Butch to adjust his schedule. Yeah.
It's it from my home, you know. It's right, yeah. Because I can only do.
Which one is it?
So a lot of times I get.
Is that a,
Yeah.
You know, well,
You know,
Right.
You don't work right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
really.
Insurance.
So that's one.
It's not up to
And they take a lot of work, so don't race it.
having the light, yeah.
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, there's six,
You have-
nine, split seven,
It's not on.
7:30.
So what's up with you, Miss
Not
Linda?
bad.
Yeah, but you.
Part of it, but I think we do things. I had purchased one.
Yeah.
You guys coming home?
I came out.
She's gotta have T and J down both sides.
Yep, so it's probably a downtime.
Yeah, she's working in a fly shop and working in a restaurant, so now, so she has to eat.
Wow.
2.5 months.
But soft food.
Yeah, so she, with a plastic fork, she can't eat it. Sort it out. It'll go right into her guidance season, so.
Did they give you like CPA or something?
Well, I mean, they make so many of like protein shakes and those kind of things, so she can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, mashed potatoes and a lot of, you can,
Yeah, it's like you can do vegetables, saute some salt, you can do that.
and the baby food brews are real good.
Well, at some point, you just want to buy. That's what's gonna be the hardest.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that what she does, there's so much beef.
Yes.
Beef is cheaper than like the chicken.
Mhm.
And so she can figure out, she'll eat protein shakes and do that kind of stuff.
But
Yeah.
ground beef is probably easier than chicken.
Well, she can do, they say ground beef and like spaghetti sauce. and
Yeah.
stuff. She can do those.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you can pretty much, you know, if you cook it where it's broken up enough, you can pretty much swallow that.
Yeah, yeah, so.
Well, and beans and peas and stuff like, you know, those, you get your protein, but you can still mash it a little
It's
bit.
so funny because the doctor that's going to the surgeon, he'll ask her what to eat. And she has a boyfriend and they feel good. She goes, oh, this is fine. Oh, you made it. Let's get something to refried beans. I said, you can do that.
I bet she'll be able to do fish.
Yeah, fish would be, because to give the people she is.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
figure out.
yeah.
So we have that next week, but when I read.
No, it could be worse. It could be all liquid, you know?
Of course, because they could,
Yes, yes.
just the way they use. it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And, you know,
It's just all.
How are y'all, when y'all been up?
good stuff around here, you know?
Quiet in January.
He probably told you our biggest work need.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, that's what he told me you were gonna, you.
And you know that, what I'll tell you this too, I'll find out, spell that on those three. One of the guys that I knew.
Okay.
That we can fill them out, but it can always be, you can go, and that's what you have to do for the east side, and I tell you the lowdown. If you don't know.
Yeah,
So,
the only problem is a lot of them are in the same firm, so.
yeah, which would be fine. I think you can meet with, there's two that's in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think you can meet with just the best one of those. They say, I can't do it part. Which I would tell you that.
Well, and that's what I told Lee. I said, you know, what I would like to think in a place that big is that they would say that either, you know, George over here is the best guy for this, or I don't have time for this, but so-and-so's good. And, you know, I don't know whether they do that, but I would like to think they do just because they're so.
Yeah.
And
It just depends. I mean, you know, I'm just.
And I like, I mean, well, the two that he recommended, I know of the firms. I don't know those particular guys. I know some of the other people in the firms and stuff. But I know the firms, they're, you know, they have been in Huntsville forever, you know, thing.
The only downside I can think of is they're predominantly. And y'all plan. And so that's just something you kind of have, it doesn't mean that they don't know it, but sometimes defense attorneys handle things differently. So yours is a little bit different situation, but that's something.
Well,
you kind of have.
yes and no, because we're having to defend our position here.
Okay.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, but it's,
You're having to, you're.
I got two in.
And I understand that you're You're saying sometimes the option, all practices is not different. That applies a lot more. Cases. Yours is, when I say that, it's a little bit different because yours is a little bit business.
Yeah.
Situation.
We got it on the 31st.
email, send me questions of things we should ask when we go, you know. Tell me about your background and what am I looking for?
Is it basically?
Susan, yeah. So, yeah.
So, one of the things you need to look for too, litigation experience.
Oh, yes.
Because, you know, because it's a business type, but you also want to know somebody and they will.
Well, and it's kind of real estate, but it's not property line real estate.
It's contractual. It's contracts, is what it is, but it deals with the underlying issue is property dispute, but it's not really even property, it's the deal.
It's, yes, yeah.
It's the contractual agreement, so I know that what you're dealing with has to do with property, but like you said, it's not property line dispute. So you need to know there's somebody that can, is familiar with this, you know, contract.
I was looking for.
But also you gotta know somebody's got litigation experience, you know, have you ever tried a case? And, you know. Let's see,
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, just email me.
So you see out there, you gotta set up a course. There's a few available. Here's what is it, Windward Literate course. So you start out and you go up there, go back and forth. Start here, finish there. What's wrong with that? It's two race committee elements. You gotta have two votes.
Yeah,
Good.
the,
This is somebody else's drawing, not here. Our designation is A is windward mark. So that would be A. And then B is typically the breach mark out here. What should we do? So, and C is always blurred mark. Now that's discrete tradition designation. So here we would have, what would it be? A, B, B,
ACAC.
C, A, C, X is designates the line.
Yeah, I've got them written.
Right there. Chris,
ACAC with the red placard out that way they know round the port. So you,
yeah,
In that case, you've got a finish, which is not according
The button
to
has
finish in the direction of the last mark.
no, the X is forgotten in that one.
Yeah, they just got, yeah, draw a little line on your, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that. Scroll up a little bit so you can see or you can't shrink it so you can see the bottom. See where, never mind, never mind, sorry.
all right. Well, this is probably a better thing because you only gotta have one vote, right?
Let's call them modified. Yeah.
Thanks, Ken.
What's our designation here? We're going to ready the A mark. We're going to keep the word mark, city. Then we finish. That's one time around. What if you didn't apply, so you're feeling red? So you got a red placard or a green placard. Red means leave all the marks before. Fourth side of your vote's over here. So you leave it there. If it was green, you go around it this way, right? Make marks start. Olympic triangle.
And you can see when they say modified, they're usually going from a separate start and finish and combining them into one. So
Say that again.
if it's modified, see this one isn't modified. If it's modified, they're putting the start,
If it'll say a modified Olympic.
then which you'll see next. It'll combine the start and the finish with one committee vote.
Okay.
This
I see.
one would be more like an official regatta would have a start and finish line separate.
Okay, I see.
I put them in there so you could see in case you ever go someplace else and they say, we're going to do a modified Olympic course or we're going to do Olympic, that you realize there's two separate type of races, which is good for you because you've got a brand new M15. So you'll do some traveling.
Just FYI, the Portsmouth handicap system assumes that there's windward reaches and runs. And so if you're a keelboat that doesn't plane, you want windward lewards and don't let these guys have reaches.
No, say that, no,
Those guys who plane want those reaches, so.
Reaches.
Yep.
So that would be V mark, wouldn't it? A, B, C. So when would you do that? Maybe you got a bunch of boats and a lot of traffic going on. You want somebody starting boats, somebody finishing boats. And that can happen, even happens here. We probably had 25 mutineers once. We have had big fleets. This is something more typical of what we might have here. With the 10, 15 boats in a race. Trying to maneuver to lose.
Mark one could be low gunners though.
You can do that. Plus the navigation marks.
Where it says modified,
Yeah.
that's modified Olympic.
And if you do that, you need to probably put it in your race instructions or something, or this race. Something where it can't be misunderstood. We used to use them all the time. Trouble is, you're out there, when it's out in that direction, that puts that guy out in the channel. And that's not good. And usually it's better to stay away from there. When we go past the Green Boat House, maybe not as far as LG. It's a pretty good way. What is that? Reach, see, clear. See, finish. I'm gonna record one, but. You said the red. Pick with the port. Yeah, go over the port. Mark to the port side of your boat. You'll see a red flag up here. Maybe the other side. Yeah.
That's just a triangle twice around. That's a modified triangle. We don't do those, but
So what's the difference between the Olympic and the French?
there's no windward lured run.
You do a triangle on a hot.
I use the double triangles for boats like sunfish that are unstable straight downwind. So when it really blows, they'll put up two triangles.
Between, so the X. The matter if the boat's on the outside of the course or the inside.
Only matters during the roundings.
So I mean, like that,
Mini boats?
yeah, if that matter was here.
When you're sailing, no, doesn't matter. You don't have to go through this stuff. You don't, that isn't a.
I mean, just setting up, so the committee boat could be
You're
here.
gonna want port inside so
and it
that
could be out,
Technically, yes,
but if it goes here, which.
yeah. The reason is because we go on starboard tack and there's a big committee boat over here. You can't make it.
Yeah.
So they put the committee boat, just have a little pin there so you can go on.
You don't run it.
Easiest way to remember, Ken, on this boat when you're setting that up is your board needs to go inside the course. So people are going back and forth and they turn up, be able to see the course. So they don't have to come around on the other side of the boat.
So your pin should be on your board side. You're out there. That helps you remember.
Sometimes there's geographic, at the St. Petersburg Pier, we have to do it the other way around, you know.
But for us, that's.
For us
Yeah,
here,
but it's typical,
Us
this
here.
board's on the port side where they're all gonna race across.
The side you're gonna put your pin on. Your starting pin.
Yeah, here's what the committee boat looks like.
That's it.
Placards are inside these cases on top of the deck there.
And these are the two common courses that we race here, 99% tide, modified Olympic and modified windward lured.
Greg Bennett built that thing for us.
Yeah.
Lima flag, was it made? From there.
come to hell.
See that, that probably means the race committees want to communicate something to you. Maybe he'll tell you, well, we sort of moved that pin or something like that.
A lot of times they'll do that come within hail because they'll have set it originally for like 2 laps and they'll change it to 1. And they want you to come by so they can yell at you.
Looking to see if y'all wanna do it. Please.
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell them, just fly that, everybody show up.
This is sort of same thing as what we just did. Some 12 different things in there. This is setting up the race, setting up a line. Now, what he's demonstrating here is, a lot of times you'll see somebody set up a race. They'll try to make it perpendicular to the wind. If you do that, that means it should be equal distance to the weather mark from there or there. So if you do that, what's gonna happen? Everybody's gonna take starboard tap to the weather mark. The reason they do that is, you got rights here, your starboard keeps you out of trouble.
They crowd the committee vote that way, it's perfectly straight.
See a bunch of boats start riding. But the thing to do, always do this, is, I try to give the port tank. Well, what I'll do is I'll let the anchor out of the committee boat and let it drift off. Now let's this guy, he'll come out here and he'll look, hey, this is closer. You know, we don't have rights, but he's brave. He's got his stuff there, and he's got clear and
You better not have a slow boat, man. Yeah.
Pity start on the port tack. He told us.
unless you have a slow boat, you get squeezed. So, better things to start there, but you have to get ahead of this fleet here, who's barreling down. But all these boats are sailing together. And when you get a bunch of boats sailing together, it's like a funeral procession. They just, they're in each other's when they're slow. So the brave thing is go there and get that weather mark first. Let's see. Here, the line should be 1 to 1.5 times the length of the boat and the number of boats. So if you had a 20-foot boat, 10 boats, you need 300, 200, 300 foot. You use the 1 to 1.5 rule. Now,
Make the start lines big, don't make them small.
I like
It sucks to have them, it sucks to be on top of everybody.
I like to make them small if they're experienced sailors. But he's right. You need to make them long. Keep people from hitting.
Can I make one suggestion? And I've done this for years at St. Pete Yacht Club. How do you know where to put the starting line? Starting pin. Real work. What you do is you anchor anywhere. Now, if you have another boat, or you're having your anchor line go back and forth, and right into the wind. Both ears have the same wind. When you mustaches don't help, but when you can smell it, right there, straight into the wind. Hold your left arm straight out, and then put the mark where your thumb is aiming. Okay, simple as that. At St. Pete Yacht Club, they had calculators to do that. I would be there already by the time they told me where to put it. Okay, no, it works. It works.
So where in the boating?
Right at the red flag or orange flag. Right at the orange flag. Hold it like this, facing the wind.
So in our boat is that at the. It's at the bow where the orange flag.
And if you can feel all of that, use a piece of yarn.
Or-
Have it pointed right at your head.
Flags, hold it up. We used to have a pole with some,
Tape.
tape on it, yeah, with some cassette tape on it, so you
Have
could.
have a boat that you know what, in a small boat. Hey, George, go ahead to wind for me. And he should be luffing right straight at the mark. And you can tell if his bow is facing toward the pin a little bit, that is favored. If it's facing the other way, you need to let some anchor line out.
That's good.
Okay.
I do that one. About the noise, you can, like you said, your ears will roar
Yeah.
same amount. Also, your eyes will burn. So.
If there's wind.
But that'll get you close, you know. And I think that's the best racing to do. I've read pit things about like, I think it was George O'Day. He was a real hairy guy, so he'd take his shirt off.
The problem is current. We don't have current, but with current, you've got to have somebody go, because their wind is different than your anchored wind. So you go by the ripples. The ripples are the real wind, sailor's wind. Oh, yeah, well, that's different.
Drop the pin and then you move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is good, he's giving these, fourth guys some, chance to do well. Keeps them away from you. See what we got there. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's go back to the starting stuff. Remember we talked about orange designation of the race committee. Orange flag can be blue now starting.
I think we need an orange flag. I'll volunteer my Tennessee Balls flag, no problem, guys. Good old Rocky Top. I think I can order a blue one too, so.
Courtesy preparation morning. Ordinarily we get that. 6 minutes, answering pen. It's not needed anymore. Nobody else does that with us. Okay, 5 minutes to the start again. White flag. Now, when you get these out, you gotta write on every pennant what it says on there, how it's used. Goes up at 5 minutes, at 4 minutes, the P flag goes up. It's redone. Again, written on the thing. One minute to start, P flag goes down. Sound, see, 0 and white comes down. If, boats come across, you can, give it on the church, or you want to finish. Really probably we talked about this a while. Well, were they individual recall? Guy dressed on the line went over. He's got to go back and start and get the next flag. And when he goes back, he has no rights. Keep that in mind when you can mess with. General recall, everybody's on route. Yeah, everybody go back, restart the whole race. Shorten flag, S, short, Sierra. 2 sounds. Sierra. And C flag, the dreaded C flag. If you want to change a mark, you're supposed to have that on the boat, which signifies the new mark.
The AV flag is postponement. But hopefully you'll do that on land. Don't make everybody go out there and sit.
I don't think we have a orange flag anymore.
Yeah, we need a blue one and we also need a change of, we need 3 flags.
Yeah, this is a commercially available 4-star sticker. I have it here, but I think there's one on the committee. Used to be one on the clip.
You can get them on eBay. Yeah, we're also gonna get orange, we need a blue, and we need the change of course black.
I think we have those. That.
No, somebody's doing it. It's that blue, white, red, white, blue.
Right here.
Oh,
There's one out there.
they change course.
There's one out there that might be illegal.
And we don't have a blue or white, but I'll have to order this. I mean, orange or a blue.
I've seen that used once on TV through America.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Now, there's a couple other things. If you're racing elsewhere, you're in a big fleet, You do something, they don't like it, they'll throw you out of the race. That Z flag. You see that, you're in trouble. We talked about that around the ends rule. Don't be forward of the starting line. 1 minute to the start. All right.
What's the one for life jacket required?
Yankee. Yay.
All right, we got that one.
Because we didn't.
Change of course.
Clean.
They had a display one time about the Titanic, and they asked for the T flag. So we brought the T flags over, brought them back, and the guy didn't put them away right. It was T, C for a whole bank, and nobody noticed.
I didn't see
It's
it.
the same thing, but upside down.
Straight up and then.
Yeah. I didn't tell him. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I bought this thing here.
That's right.
And I learned, if you know the race signals, you can spell your name, read it. You can pretty much, read any of these. I think we actually won a couple of trivia questions at main channel.
Then you're at Margaret today. When you're at Margaret today.
It's kind of neat. Now, the semaphore thing,
That sucks. I've done the scouts and it's really hard to do.
let's see.
On that same note, there's a guy down at Mountain Valley Arts Council who will make you a sign he paints with the flag letters. I think ours says welcome. I hope it says welcome. It's my porch and it doesn't say welcome, but he'll make you whatever you want. If you want your, name, whatever. I think it's like $50 a letter, but he does them on wood, hang them up.
See, Kurt, no. What have we done? We've not done something anybody wants to see. I thought I'd go into pursuits.
Yeah, just explain how to set the windward mark and the leeward mark, and how to set up all the marks. If you wouldn't mind.
All right. On the board, this is how I do it. I know Butch told me something last time. He does it a little bit. Now, myself, I kind of go out there, and I'll set the leeward mark first, C mark. That's cool. And say the wind is, the north. The north.
Good man.
Okay. Now what I do is I'll look into the wind and,
Do you do it like that? A stare into the wind.
yeah. Actually, yeah. I don't even get the ribbon out. There's all kind of things around you. Give you hints about the direction of the wind. But I'd go right into the wind. I go set that leg first. Okay, well, the goal is to get a good square course. Try to use as much time as you want to race at 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe faster if maybe you got just a bunch of dinghies. Then you want short races, right? Particularly if they're the same amount. Because you want 45 minutes to an hour, according to the Portsmouth book, to make the handicap system work correctly. So you want 45 minutes to an hour. Now, what I've noticed is, particularly the dinghy sailors around here, they want to set up short courses. And I finished one a while back, 18 minutes. And, if you're going that fast, your handicap's not really working. So I'm going to win. Now, last night I was talking to Butch. Isn't it just go up here, set up the windward mark, back to the lure. He said, there's Butch to it?
Yeah,
He said that avoids the change in direction due to the turbulence of the boat or something like that.
yeah, where the canopy and autos on it. If you're standing in front of the boat, that way your flag, you can point it straight at your windward mark. Not an effective rear. I mean, the wind's gonna change here anyway every 10 minutes,
Yeah.
or you don't get your best shot at it. But you've got to kind of start at the leeward to have an idea where the windward is.
Yeah.
So how you, where your course out and fit within the constraints out here.
You can sort of look at that and you say, you could time it. Say maybe that took you 10 minutes to know from there to it. Next thing is to set the reach mark in it, if you're gonna use that. So if you're either here or here, you go halfway, right? And then you just take a turn and go out here and set the reach mark. Now, mathematically, what's wrong with this? So it's supposed to be like what's that, an isosceles triangle? Those are equal lengths. And you could go out there if you wanted to, the GPS and get all this just mathematically correct. You can use a hand bearing compass, sit right there, and then you could use this angle here, which is it should be 45 degrees. You can thread over this and spend hours of doing it, but you'll get one race in if you do that. So wing it. Go early in the morning and try to do the best you can to get that race in.
Just put your arms out at a 40 to 45, square. And this one should be aiming at the C mark, and this one should be aiming at the A mark. If it doesn't, move until it does.
He who complains about the course gets to do the next one.
That's right.
I like that.
The best you can.
What I do is I normally sort of just set this last and then I might adjust if there's time. But the thing is, you got to get the show on the road. So that's how I do it. Like I said, you can. I think there was that was like say 345. Should be 300, shouldn't it? You can, if you're a math guy, you can do all that. But I usually just look at it. You got to get it on the road.
When you,
Now, if it's a regatta, you got visitors, sore heads or something, you might want to spend a little more time getting it done.
well, you'll have more than one boat to help you too.
That's a good place to put it. There you can set all kind of races, ABC or AEC, BCX. There's all kind of things. What's mine?
Well, you forgot you got to drop the pin. Then race committee boat stops and anchors out and
That's
drags backward.
Reach mark, come back to your reach mark, head to the middle. Once you get
There you go.
kind of in there, you can drop your
Hey,
pin.
just
and go on past
use one of the round ones. There you go.
pin. If the wind's blowing hard, let out, try to make it so you can let out as much anchor line as you possibly can. Otherwise, it's gonna be.
And where to go, because the first time T and I set up the course, Ed protested our race committee because we were dinghy sailors, and so we can sail over there. But Ed was on Elliott, and he can't sail over there.
I have asked Ed and Greg and anybody else to take a picture of the map of Lake Sconnersville and do us a traced outline so you can put it online and in here to where the government marks are and where the race area should be, so we know how the hell to get out, where to set a race. Cause I don't know, cause I've not done race community.
It's, go out the channel or not out the channel, but if you can see the lighthouse.
Yep.
If you can see the lighthouse is right over there, then you're golden. You can have a ball.
But the
This side of,
the Catalina 22s draft 5 feet, so you do not want to run a racer aground.
Sure, sailing school says follow somebody if you don't know the area, follow somebody that has a bigger draft than you do. If he stops, don't go there.
Yeah. Tag.
That's good. Lighthouse rule's pretty good.
That's where the wind slide is too. That's where all the winds usually are.
So, see LGL's out here.
Too on that, if you look at the fishermen, what it is a ridge that runs parallel to shoreline. Up until you get to about Bill Waddell's boathouse, which that's the American flag flying on it usually out there. And it's about half a mile out that way, but if you look at where the fishermen are, they're gonna be fishing on either side of that ridge.
This one.
So if there's fishermen out there on it, they're fishing,
it runs parallel to this shore.
they're fishing on those drop offs on that ridge.
But typically, if you can see the lighthouse,
Good.
the port, that's a
That's good.
rule of thumb.
I like to go past the green boathouse. Once you pass it, you got deep water. Now you can sort of move this thing over into the Browns Creek Channel. If the wind is such a direction that you need that. You can if you have to, run a port round and put it way out here. Sort of makes confusion because nobody ever races starboard wings. But you know, if the wind's out of the south,
Well, you could still do port rounding around.
yeah,
No, you can't.
that's right. See,
Yeah, you could.
You gotta put a
Oh, yeah. You would have to.
ugly mess. Yeah, but you gotta put your boat, you gotta,
It was over that way.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
it
pick-
changed, maybe on the second race, it was starboard because we kind of missed it.
right. Yeah, the wind change.
Yeah.
The wind change.
this is, yeah, because many are doing something.
Your committee boat has to go over here.
Yeah.
And then the placards on the blue side, so
So if you're about into the channel, then just drop the one leg into a windward leeward course instead of doing a triangle.
yeah,
I mean, that's why there's more than one course. Or you can just do starboard roundings and something really weird, but let everyone know you're gonna do something really weird.
yeah. It's dangerous. Then you gotta run back into the crane.
It makes it hard.
So I didn't get it here.
Each marked out. Don't do it.
I didn't like it.
If it's summertime, it's a fun race. You're filming with students or something. Won't screw people. What else? Now, let's see, something else we didn't say. Remember, we got marks that are cylinders and all cut the deepest. In the summertime, you blow them up on the committee boat. In summertime, the temperature on the course will increase. So the air inside the marks expands. And because it has a lot of surface area, force on it can be such that it could bust a seam. So when you're blowing up a mark, don't get it real tight, just make it a little spongy. Because it can swell up and break. Cost hundreds of dollars. I've never seen that.
We've had it.
Yeah, yeah, and if you have one that leaks, either don't use it or put a life jacket, just tie it to it so you don't lose it. It's expensive.
Up, if you'll smush the top down on the cylinder so it's at least flat, so it's not bowed up, you know, so you kind of you got a concave surface, you should.
One thing we hadn't talked about is there's some life jackets on the boat. If you have to go, if a boat gets in trouble and you have to go get that boat, untie your anchor, tie a life jacket to that line, leave your anchor, don't wait to try to get your anchor up to go provide assistance.
We only have more than one anchor.
Yeah.
You probably should have two.
Yeah.
Because you'll need one when you go wherever. But yeah, you're right.
Maybe or maybe not.
So, what he's talking about is that's a safety item. Take it off. We can replace him.
Be nice if you tie it.
Upside down. Don't spin.
Yeah, we went in the water in February. Watched the committee about 5:30. What it can be. Another thing, we got cylinders, right? Set an anchor on the cylinder. You put out enough scope.
There's also an anchor, another anchor.
Yeah. Now that cylinder. Put it on the side like that. So what you do, you put something called a ride in. It's like a ball pin.
And feed down all the way down.
No,
All the way down.
Say this is like 21 foot out there. This is, so this be 30 maybe. Be one.
Get down, touch your heaters.
Yeah, it's just real important to note that whenever you're out there, your job not only is just to watch the race, but safety is your very first concern. So if somebody has a problem, you need to be ready to go help them. You never know what's gonna happen.
When you're dropping the anchor down, don't just throw the buoy out there because you may be in a deeper spot and it take your mark down. That's happened to us several times.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
I guess the GPS coordinates, if I ever figure out how to grapple it.
All right, what do we want to do next? We want to talk about pursuit races?
Yeah.
Portsmouth system is time on time. Let's see, our corrected time, you want the below corrected time. Is equal to divided by your hand.
But hey, before we did, Stone, you want to just talk about what you're supposed to write on the, I mean, the race committee doesn't have to worry about this. They have to score the sheet. They need to, in a handicap, write the start time and the finish time of everybody.
Yep.
That's what has to be turned in. And then when you're done with it, you post it up here and take a picture and email it. It says the address. So I have a copy. He fixes it all, and then we post it on the website. Then he does all this shit to it.
Sure, he's talking about.
No.
No.
No,
I'm
we ain't
getting
got the pursuit yet.
what's the Portsmouth handicap system? Race. There's something called PHRF.
So one more thing before you go there. When you fill out with your race committee, you have a starting wind and you have an ending wind.
We didn't talk about that.
So I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, but I mean, you know, there's a new wind meter should be on the boat. We'll look at that when we go down the boat. But you know, you want to kind of get moving. And I didn't see, is there a minimum? Do we not have a 3 mile an hour minimum anymore?
I think that was on here. To not start a race if it's less than,
Right.
yeah, it's in here.
Some instructions.
I don't think you get
Yes.
3, but I don't know. If there is something somewhere, I don't know if it's law or not, but don't go out there at 3 mile an hour. I mean, you have 3 boats to show up with no wind. I mean, when you're a race committee, it's your job. If it's a shitty day, to postpone it, wait half an hour, ask everybody else, do you really want to race? Wait another half hour. Yeah, cancel it. So.
Yeah, this is 0 to 2. Just past the picture of the boats.
Oh, so
Yeah,
2 sucks, 3 sucks is a little.
yeah, but you should have nobody want to race one that guy. You might, I will show up myself and look and then go, no way, you know.
All right, back to you, Ed.
that's the Portsmouth handicap. The other half of the world races something called PHRF, Performance Handicap Racing Fleet. Under that system, typically you see offshore, coastal, where they're going somewhere. When you go somewhere, you kind of know the distance. Your handicap of your boat sort of tells you your speed. So, let's see, you know the velocity of your boat. Yeah. Multiply it by the time, that's equal to the distance. Well, you know the distance. So you know your velocity within your handicap. So you end up measuring the time to get to the distance. So we have a way to convert our handicaps to this assumed velocity of the boat. Then we end up measuring, we know the distance. So then we can back into the time. So we can say, well, it's 5 miles, this boat sails 5 miles an hour, it should take an hour, shouldn't it? So we know that, we can derive that from the handicap. We went around the lake, we measured all the distances between all this stuff. So we ought to be able to calculate the times between the 2 points. So what we do is we say we got 5 boats, and this one's going to take an hour. The next one's going to take an hour and 15 minutes. We know that this guy is, he's a slower boat, it takes him 15 more minutes. So if we were going to send him to the same point, he needs a 15-minute head start, don't he? So we can do that to different boats. We can calculate it since we know the distance, we know the velocity or the derived from the handicap. We can calculate it for these boats. So that kind of tells you how we back into this pursuit plan. Let's see, we'll say we get 120. So what we do, we calculate all this stuff up front. You pick out a course, you divide by its relative velocity, and then you ought to say the time. So this gives the slow boats a head start, so to speak. So this guy starts 20 minutes ahead. This guy starts 15 minutes ahead. This guy's sitting back there watching him sail off, thinking he'll ever catch it. So what? Good thing about this is you can calculate all this stuff ahead of time and just show up, get your time, get on the boat, and go sail. And you don't have to have a race committee. So usually fast boat sits back there and he sets the time, start time, watches everybody sail out, and then he has to run them down. So typically on these pursuit races, we start out there Browns Creek Channel. Browns Creek Channel is a bridge. 6 marks. There's R3.
No. That's actually about
R1, R2, R3. Opposite side of the channel is G3, G3, G2, G1. LG and lower gunners a lot. So. What we do, we get out there, we got our time, the race committee calculated ahead of time. We get on the boat, put out there and where we're gonna go, come back. And cross the finish line, usually there. Now, if you look, like I said, we know the distance on a lot of things in this route course. There's a table back there, shows you the distance between all the marks. Let's just pick one out.
When you calculate the handicap, understand all this, is it a function of wind velocity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it can be. Because the Portsmouth table is delineated by the velocity of the winds, you know, it's different columns for
That would make sense.
What time do I start?
Hmm.
Tell me the time.
Okay. Now, so you got off work on Thursday night. You roared down here, you stopped at the beer store. You got a 6-pack. 12 pack. You jumped on the boat with your buddies. You're great, you're happy to be here. Getting off. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just pick one out here. Now, this, the handicaps are expressed in nautical miles per. So, you see up there at the top here, we got statute miles. We work off. Let's say. So we get out there and we say. We're gonna start at number 2. See the R2 column? There's a
3.
0.3 is nautical miles. So this is 0.3. We go down there to R1. We come back, so it's 0.3 again. Then we go to what we finish with Y, which is up here,
1.3.
1.3. Then let's say we go to the can nearest.
I was wrong.
Houston.
1.1.
1.1? Yeah. Well, and go to the can nearest all red. Gino, what's that? 1.3?
What? All right, it's LGL to the green can at Already.
Houston Bridge.
It's G-A, GA, 2.1.9.
So right there. So
Is it
LGL
1.9 of LGL?
No, 1.1.
1.1.
Yeah, LGL.
So we have 0.3, 0.3, 1.1.
Yeah.
And 1.1. Then we come back to same distance. So we know the distance, right? Since I know the velocity, I can calculate the time. So we give this guy the time he needs to slow down. Go there, sell back. And so the time the say 1:20 20 minutes expires. I cross the line and I've got to run him down. Sort of in a nutshell. If you wanted to calculate your time, I think it's something like 6 BPM. Say Portsmouth number, what 6 BPM? That's 330, is that it?
Minus 330.
Minus. Well, that's your handicap horseman number. That's what giving you PHRF. That is actually that.
In fact, there's 6 and then, oh, yes, 6 and then.
Yeah. And from that, I can calculate time. And give everybody a starting time. 12:30, 6 minutes. So I'll run down for the finish. See, I got this chart and I got all this stuff I can pretty much send them anywhere. It's however much time you think you've got. This time of year, sun goes down early, so you may not want to go upper gunners. We've done that fast, lots of times, haven't we? So, see, if you want to, I guess, do one, we could set it up and do it. It takes a while to do it.
Ed, so this is complicated. One of the things that we're going to do after the first pursuit race or beforehand is I'm going to have him or Greg calculate one of these. I'll do some courses on a map, and maybe we'll have 10 courses that have all the boats, all the start times pre-calculated, and the course written out, so you can just pick one instead of having to do all this. But it's good to know how to do it in case we want to do, we want to do ones different than those. But if we had some regular ones, and if him and Greg aren't here, how the hell are we going to set a course? So
Where are the portions numbers? You have the table somewhere?
It's on your racing page now.
So it's a function of wind velocity.
BCSA racing page. East Browns Creek Sailing Association.
Yeah.
Racing.
.org, yeah, on the racing tab.
Just put it in there.
They were the same numbers you guys raced with them last year. So
It takes me about 45 minutes to set up a race. Because you have to figure out who's the scratch boat, the slowest boat. And all these other boats are gonna file in.
so if we do a if we do a pre one, if we do a pre one, what the slowest boat that's gonna race a Catalina 22, so you say you do them all, Catalina 22 is scratch boat. And even if next boats start 10 minutes later, it's okay.
Well,
So we'll do pre-calculated based off of Catalina 22.
well, it doesn't even have to be, because if you have a distance for a course and each boat, okay, our boat is an hour and a half, yours is an hour, yours is an hour and 15, yours is an hour and 45, we all would have an assigned time.
Right.
We just figure out who's racing that day, and then
Yeah, so
slow boat for the
just some modification. The way we're gonna do the races this year on Pursuit is R2 is the starting mark. You have to be within 2 boat lengths of R2 for your start, and then you cross in front of it after when your start time is. And the finish is going to be the same, and it's going to be up to you guys to record your order. And you'll say, hey, I finished behind Ed, and then you'll have to write the order down.
So you're not
the
between part 2 and part 3?
No, it's just, yeah, well, you have to be within 2 boat lengths, so it's got to be in front of you. You can't be behind you in the direction that you're sailing. When you're fishing, you got to cross.
Part 2.
No, just, yeah, port of R2.
Okay.
And then if the two of you are swear, if the two of you swear that you both finished at the same time, we'll both give you the same place. So if you both had a 2, you both get second. If you can't figure out who was the first one within, okay?
I think it needs to be between the line of R2 and Green 2.
No, it's within 1 boat length because it depends the direction you're going. So
Still within that line.
do you want to do
The finish line, if you got
Yeah.
between.
can you see both of them?
Within one.
Yeah, well, if you want to do it, that's fine. We can do that.
Like, well,
I didn't know you could see. I didn't know you could see through.
between a boat. I mean, if you're in Hula Girl and you've got, I don't know, a 26-foot boat, you have to be a lot closer to R2 than.
No, you don't. It's just front of your boat,
No, you said two boat lengths.
within 2 boat lengths.
That's the
Yeah.
start.
Oh, I get you. Well, I mean, it's approximation.
Is the line between R2 and R3.
That's fine. Well, we'll make that our start. I gotta change the rules for that. So the line is gonna be R2 and R3 then, okay? I mean,
R2.
G2,
Yes.
that too. Okay, that's gonna be the start line. Okay, so that's our start line and our finish line. And then we're gonna do we're gonna do some courses, and we're gonna put maps, like 10 of them for different situations, close, farther, whatever. And then we'll have times for the boat starting. We'll put every boat that races, the Catalina 22, your boat will all have their start times. Then when we come up here, somebody goes, "Hey, what race are we going to race?" And you start looking through them and say, "What do you want to race? Let's race this one." Everybody agrees to, or you don't agree. You just pick it and go. And then you go out there and you say, "We're going to start exactly at 2 o'clock this afternoon." And then everybody knows what their start time is based on that sheet. They go out there, they cross their start line, and they race.
It cannot be based on just that sheet because it's wind dependent.
Well, you can, he's saying it's not.
What we normally do. Now, if you wanted to try to be more accurate, which you can't really be successful at, in my experience. What we normally do is we race off the base DPN numbers, which is moderate wind speed numbers, 4 to 12 miles per hour, something like that. Usually you pick that, you can kind of get close, because think about this, and when you're racing around the buoys, you record beginning, the middle, and the end wind. Well, what is that? And you're looking at this race. You don't know. It's in the future. You gotta have a crystal ball. Usually we're racing in the evening, so it sort of dials down a little bit. You go a little later, it starts coming back up a little bit. So it's just a guess. Don't count on pursuit races being real accurate. There's another concept in there, I think, which is a proponent of it. Let's start. The winds out of the north, say. Remember, we measured the distance. So, what is that distance? Is it really there to there? No, Yep. And what is that? That's the distance times the square root of 2 over 2. 1.25 or something like that. You hear that? It will change just because when they start out there, maybe over there next. It's all over the place, and as far as we're racing down the channel there. So the slow boats in our current volume. So you just can't get it perfect. You're out there to have a good time. And the race committee can kind of budget trying to get closer. But it's my experience, you can get close, but more often than not, he'll fall on his face and fast boats run off of it. You're there to have a good time. If you want to be real accurate, you've got to have a handicap race. And well, that's not that good. You want to be, you've got to do one design racing. But your handicap systems are not perfect. All right, I got one more thing before y'all take me somewhere else if you do. What if you didn't got a race? You just want to do some match racing or something. You have no race committee, but most of you got a boat that's probably same as the other guy. Like, Flying Scott's pretty close to Buccaneer 18 in speed limit. It's within 0.1 or so. So if I say I had two Elliots.
Wait, dude.
All right, and I got one, it's a certain configuration, I got one, another one has a different kind of sail, a different kind of rudder or something. I wanna know what's faster. Maybe hone my skills and get them near each other. I want it to just kind of like match racing, you know? I want to race that boat, he's going like right near mine. I'm saying G3, just say R3. This is called a rabbit start. Start, you need no crew. But what you do, you got two boats, right? Maybe more. They're just boats at the same speed. The starting boat, he kind of has the job of setting the race. His job is to sail a known course or something like that. Give the other guys time to start off. So what's the way you do that? Say boat one starts here and he sails this way 2 minutes.
Where's your wind?
North.
Who's on a beam?
He's on the beam. At the end of 2 minutes, he's probably gonna blow a whistle or something down there. He's gonna turn, right? He spent 2 minutes getting that way. He's gonna spend 2 minutes getting back. Try to do that. At the end of 4 minutes, he's gonna go pay his starboard tank.
Post all the with that.
Yeah. The other bit off his stern. 1 minute there. He has 1 minute. He has the honest to go on that course. All these other boats should have been lining up on it to take his turn. He's obligated to stay on that tack for 1 minute. At the end of 1 minute, he can sail any direction. Now, that's a way you can start a race without any crew, any whatever. You
We've
just,
done that a couple of, yeah.
yeah.
The 505 class does it as a default. That's what they always do. We've had one general recall, and that's when a boat ran into it. You know, he got pushed into it. But I gotta tell you, in Chicago, 38 boats, national championships. The winner was the Rabbit, the 11th place boat previous race. He took off, and I was on the race committee boat, and the race committee captain says, "Okay, you can let him tack now. Let him tack. Let him tack. Oh, wait. He forgot to turn his radio on." Meanwhile, Augie Diaz, who was leading the regatta, was going off toward the Chicago, hollering at him. "Let me go, let me go." You got a right hand shift and won by almost a leg of the course. But it could have been a lost race. But it really works. It really works. We do it slightly different. We have the guy have a normal countdown, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and then take off on port tack, and everybody else does starboard. It's the same thing.
Yeah, if you read about it, it's online,
Yeah.
Sail World. Normally, like Dave said, Rabbit, he goes this way 2 minutes, then he goes this way 2 minutes. Usually there's some mark there. Then he goes on that port tack. So these guys over here, in this last minute right there, are starting to start off his stern. Now, what's weird about this? He's on port tack. But in that minute, he has right of way. It's contrary to the rules. Everybody agree?
Yep.
That's great. Rabbit stop. We're gonna be doing some of that, so if I can get that one vote.
That's too.
That works for boats that are the same handicap or you say here, yeah. Here and here. And Chadwick and Dave beat a much faster boat.
Can I make a quick comment about when you go out on race committee? Cause I mean, if it's just a local race, you know, if your wind shifts 20, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, don't go out and change course. You know, everybody's racing the same course at that point. I mean, if
We
it's
just
a
want to
regatta, if it's a regatta, do something different. What Ed said earlier was get out, get set up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get it close as you can, but don't waste another hour out there with racers really waiting for you to have your course set. It's much, they would rather you not have a perfect course and then get to race. So don't
Nope.
sweat the small stuff at that point. I think we set up a race course and it was supposed to change during the day and actually changed 180. And we just swapped our reach mark, which almost never happens, but it did that day. So we kind of prepped it that way. We're ready to do that, but don't change a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you can move your start line by adjusting your committee vote, and that will help. So you want to have a fairly close start line. You can adjust that with your committee vote. But your other marks, everybody's got to live with it.
Yeah. Oh, and try and get 2 or 3 races off. We like 3 of them.
Yeah.
When there's race committee out there, pursuits is usually one lap, but sometimes it can be 2.
If you spend all your time getting it perfect, they'll be bitter.
Yep.
They'll be hurling obscenities.
Well, it is.
All right, what do we got left? Anybody want to go over anything else? Anybody want to, for future classes, maybe we could do a Portsmouth, a protest. Those are kind of fun.
Well, she's doing a sailing rules class.
When did we decide we're doing this?
It's on that schedule. It's printed out. I don't know.
Is it-
They're online.
The 2nd and the 16th is what it says.
Okay, so it's gonna be beginning racing. So it's not gonna be race committee. It's gonna be you and your boat, some tips about, well, we'll talk about how the race starts again and where you need to be typically. And just typical starts, we've got some videos to do, some tips about, and we'll go over basic rules. Not the most encountered rules. It's gonna be for beginning sailors. So, for beginning racers, I'm sorry. Or that.
We're gonna make you memorize this chart.
Some marks, yeah. We will-
Memorize.
We're gonna do starboard over port and windward over windward and ahead over. I'm sorry.
No excuse.
Yeah, that thing's, I don't even.
So we're gonna go look at the mini boat.
Let's do it.
We're going out on or just?
There we
I don't
go.
know if they're going, so you might as well just go. look at
Oh, sure we can.
it. You can, but
I
I'm not
know.
going.
I like all those. Who wants to go set up the course, just a quickie.
Look at it, of course.
Look at it. No, sorry. Go look at. Then I'll let put my boat in.
We get to try our horn outside.
Yeah.
Authorities might come.
Hey,
I was thinking,
originally, there was a horn on the boat when it got taken off, just kind of go back on, but what I had done at the time was I had a push button on the dash, for not for race start, maybe, but I also had a push button, remote push button. Is there gonna be any need for that?
Uh-uh.
We don't need any.